What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of All the Mods 7 to the Sky. Guys, last episode we started getting into a little bit of create, enough to make ourselves an electric motor and to set up our thing. This is the wrong room. Which room was I trying to go to? I was trying to go to the room where we set up all of our create stuff. It was over here. Found it. Yeah, so we set up our, I guess, starfish looking create setup over here, and then we set up another smaller one over here so we can make these electric motors. And since then, I have created one, and then I have created an additional 3, so I guess 4 in total of these electric motors. You can turn them on and off with a lever, so I have done such things just so we're not wasting power. Although, when you leave these things running, they're only using 240 FE per tick if you have this thing maxed out, so it's not like it's that crazy, but they also generate noise and they're spinning and all this stuff. So I feel like if we're not using them, just turn them off, right? So over here, I've done the same thing. In fact, you'll notice that the motor is not visible. That's because I have it hidden underground, or I guess into the void or whatever. But yeah, we turn this thing on and it is spinning just the same. Although you'll notice that they do spin quite a bit slower, and that's because there's just so many of these things that with one engine here, we have to step it down a little bit in order for this thing to not be overstressed. Anyway, so we have that all set up here. I guess I can pop this into the void and show you guys the setup here. So I'm using a bunch of these, the smaller cogwheels. So this one is what's touching the bottom mechanical crafter there. And then we got another one and then another one. And this is our first step down. So this is a small one with the large one on it. And then we have a small one touching this one with a large one. And then we finally have our electric motor here on a small one touching this large one. So yeah, well, all that done, we step it down enough. So I guess there's enough torque so it's not overstressed. And the mechanical system just works. Just a little bit slower than this one though. I think we could probably speed that up by adding another electric motor. I haven't actually tested all of that stuff just yet, but before we get into today's episode, messing with create and doing the creative stuff, I wanted to come over here to our applied energistic system. I was kind of looking at this, and I was noticing that we have all these P2Ps, and we're not really even using all of them. I mean, this one, for instance, just doesn't even have anything on it, right? So we don't have a lot of channels being used. In fact, we have all of these faces of the controller completely unused. So we are only using maybe 30% of like this top section here. Maybe. Like we still have a few connections that are on the top face here, and then we have all the ones on the inside, but like the bottom side and the outside of these faces, totally not used at all. I was just kind of looking at that. I was like, huh. Yeah, that's kind of a lot of applied energistics controller here that we are just kind of like powering and not really using. But anyway, one thing that I wanted to do today was I wanted to upgrade our ME drives here, our storage capacity. We are currently using 16K ME storage drives, and you can go all the way up to 64. Well, actually, you can go up higher than that. Storage component. In this particular pack, 256 is the highest for the base applied energistics. And then there's these mega cells. And then there's bulk storage. I don't really know what all this stuff does. Mega radioactive storage component. I don't know what that does. I mean, obviously it's supposed to store radioactive stuff is my guess. Yeah, radioactive waste barrel. Yeah, I guess like you could store nuclear waste on there. Anyway, that's kind of like above and beyond what I wanted to do today. What I was looking at is AE2 Things, this mod. This is the mod that we got the Advanced Inscriber from and the Crystal Growth Chamber. We've used these extensively in previous playthroughs, but it also adds in this ME disk drive, Deep Item Storage Disk, storage for dummies. So what this does is the same thing as a 64K drive, except typeless. So this makes applied energistics almost similar to the same storage that you would get from the other digital storage mod. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head right now, but I think that's what we're going to do. Now, being typeless, it's going to be more expensive. So we take a look at these housings. You do have to use different housings for this, and this does use 2 netherite and an amethyst per housing. So it is quite a bit more expensive, but it is kind of nice that you don't have to worry about type. So that means like basically all of our storage that we have here would probably fit on maybe like 5. I'm guessing 5 64K disk drives. Anyway, I'm kind of interested in checking that all out. So first things first, we got to make some 64K storage components. We do have these on AutoCraft. We haven't made any yet. I'm going to go ahead and craft up 10. And yeah, we'll go ahead and craft those up. Now, we still have a whole bunch of 16s in all of these. Every 3 of them turns into 164K. So just by converting all of these would have like another one. So I guess I could make 20 of those 64Ks and would fill up 2 of these drives and take all the 16s out of these. And then that would make our final 10. But either way, I'm going to go ahead and let this all craft up. I am going to make these housings, and then I'm going to start the old transfer Reno from one disk to the other, and then get all this stuff going. All right, so it was a good plan, except for the fact that the ME disk housing does require amethyst, and we don't have any. And I was looking at the different ways to obtain this. We got the combiner, we got this thing, we could do the amethyst essence, but in order to make that, you actually have to have amethyst, right? Crushing, we need the amethyst blocks or amethyst cluster. We do bees. Looks like we can sift basalt for it. We could do that. Yeah, we need the amethyst block, etc., etc. We need amethyst to make amethyst, basically. We can sift for it, or we can combine. And in order to make amethyst, it's 1 silicon dioxide and 1 iron. We have plenty of those, actually. So if we look at, yeah, Fe, we have over 1,000 iron and silicon dioxide, 6,500 of them from all the stuff we did previously. So I should just be able to throw this into a combiner here. What is going on with this? Block, unlock. I'm not, why is that even in? Okay, I just put Fe in there and things changed. Right. There we go. We made 1 amethyst. I guess that was remembering the recipe from before. Amethyst. Cool. So we have 1 of these. Now, the reason why I only made 1 is because it has EMC. So it's 1,000 EMC. Was it 1,024 EMC to make more? Yeah. So we will go ahead. I just did the wrong thing. I meant to place it right here. Okay, let me make another one. All right. So as I was saying, you place it right here. And then you can convert other things into amethyst. Actually, that's kind of surprising that I put the amethyst in there and then I said this, and then we don't have anything on the output over here. And we don't have anything over here. Huh. Okay, well, anyway, let's grab something like coal like we were converting before. So I'll just grab a bunch of coal. Then we'll just throw that all onto here. And boom, there's 3 stacks of amethyst. Okay, so that's more than what we needed. Oh, I didn't mean to do this. That's more than what we needed in order to get this going here. So yeah, I just wanted to make, I guess, 20. I thought I was just going to shift click these like they wouldn't stack. Sounds like there's a thunderstorm going on outside. Okay, yeah, so we got 20 of these now, so I should be able to combine these, and there we go. Quest completed, deep item storage. Awesome. All right, so I should now be able to replace these here with this and then transfer all the data over. I can take these out, and all of that stuff looks like it might have just fit on 1 disk. Maybe it might have combined with some of the other stuff. It looks like all of these are yellow now too. So yeah, maybe it didn't do all on 1 disk, but now that we have all these, I can shift right click on them, take them apart, and then combine these into new 64K disks. Out of curiosity, I just went ahead and I moved all of this stuff to the storage over here, and then I saw that that only took up the 1 disk. I was like, okay, let's move the other one over. So this is all of our storage is on 2 of these disks only. Everything else not being touched. That is insane. Yeah, so only 2 of our 64K ME disk drives. I had originally said probably 5. Yeah, only 2 of them are being utilized. That is crazy. Okay, well, I made these other 10. We got these 30 storage components, so I'm just going to go ahead and fill this up so we have extra storage, even though we technically don't need it. But yeah, I'll just go ahead and get that done. All right, so we now have all of these drives set up here for the 64K deep storage. I don't think we're going to be running out of space anytime soon. Yeah, so I think we're good on that for now. Now, another thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to add in... do this. I wanted to add in a storage bus here on a sink. Yep. So that's something that we should have done a long time ago. In fact, I'm going to bring up the priority on this just to ensure that it gets used. This is something that we should have done a while ago. This will allow us to have essentially infinite water on our applied energistics. So instead of having to make sinks and putting sinks everywhere, we can just use the storage bus here on the sink, and then we can use that anywhere that we need. It's going to use extra channels, but yeah, I think it's probably better than having a bunch of these sinks everywhere. Okay, so the reason why I wanted to do that is getting back to our Patrick star here that we need to make. In order to make this, we do need to get ourselves all these different flavors of concrete, which means we need different flavors of dye. So we can get pink dye, for instance, by combining white dye and red dye. Everybody knows that. We could get peonies and we could just bone meal them and get a whole bunch of them like that. Or alternatively, there is pink tulips, right? Well, I guess there's a few other methods, but pink tulips, if we take a look at the recipe for a pink tulip, we can turn a white one into a pink one. We can convert white ones or oxide daisies into them. Or we can use a phytogenic insulator to convert a pink tulip into multiple pink tulips. Now, we have done this before. I think it was over here. Yeah, we're using a phytogenic insulator to duplicate mushrooms. And we're doing that. We're putting it into witch water, and that is turning into slime. And this is just one of those things you just set it and forget it. And we don't need like a crazy amount of this dye, but we are going to need it. So I think it's probably going to be in our best interest just to set up some auto crafting to get this done. Right, so let's get some phyto... I guess we don't have any of this stuff yet. You got anything good? Yeah, tree capitator. I think I already have one of those. All right, goodbye. Thanks for playing. I think we've gotten like everything from those wandering traders. Phytogenic insulator. We don't have this on AutoCraft, but we have all the components except for the machine frame and the tin gear on AutoCraft. Maybe we should just go ahead and set up an AutoCraft for this, huh? Okay, so there's a phytogenic insulator. We need the machine frame as well. And then we're going to need the tin gear like so. Okay, so now we should be able to AutoCraft phytogenic insulators. We'll just throw that all into here. Phytogenic insulator. And now how many of these different dyes did we need? So we're going to need pink. We're going to need magenta. We are going to need green and lime. Was it just 4 colors? Magenta, pink, green, and lime? Okay, so let's make 4 of these phytogenic. And is this going to take a while? What are we waiting on? Looks like the lumium. Okay, we're all done. Okay, very good. So there's that. And then we are going to need the other upgrade components, the augments. This is going to require a little bit of crafting as well. I need 4 of those. Maybe I'll make an auto craft for this. Yeah, let me just go ahead and get the rest of these components made and then we'll continue on, guys. All right, guys, so I think this is going to be our setup here. We have all 4 of our phytogenic insulators, and I have added the augment to them. We have the cyclical processing, the resonant integral component, and then 2 flux linkage amplifiers, these 3 should help speed it up. And then the cyclical processing makes it so it uses this item, but keeps it here, basically. We're giving it power on the left-hand side. So we're using a flux point. We're extracting power. I have the diamond upgrade for the pipes to feed these other ones. In fact, I think I needed to do power surge to make sure that we can provide enough power to all of these. And over on this side, we are extracting the items. I do have this set to auto output, but I don't remember if the pipe can accept items being pushed into it. So I just set them all to extract as well. Anyway, so at the very top here, we have the ME interface. This is where the items are going to end up. So one thing that we can do, which is pretty cool, is take our water bucket here, right click, and then that sets this as a water item. So since we have all of the water in our applied energistics, we have 2.1 million. Yeah, this should always stay full, and then we can extract fluids out of this ME interface into the phytogenic insulators to fill up our internal tank. So on the back here, I have this fluid pipe set, so we can start doing that. I haven't connected this, I haven't tried this, but I assume this is gonna work. Oop, I just queued that. And I guess we can just put that right there. Okay, so we'll do that, and then I will do one of these. Okay, and then finally, we actually have to connect this all to our main applied energistics system up top. So let's just run our cable up here, like so. And I like putting these smart cables where we break off, just so I can kind of keep track of how many channels we are using, like so. Okay, so we are using only one channel. It is kind of weird though. I guess you have to put like 2 of these smart cables to actually see how many channels it's using. We can point at it to see how many are being used on the tooltip. But yeah, unless we're using a dense cable here, which we could do. Dense cable, let's just throw another one right here just so we can see the difference. If we throw a dense cable right here, yeah, then we can see this connection, which is kind of odd. I'm not sure why it does that. I think it would also work if we had 2 smart cables next to each other. You can see the lines on there. Anyway, so now this is all set. We have water being provided here, and we should be extracting. And yes, look at this. It looks like we are extracting water into all of these. I don't know if I need to put a speed upgrade on there, if that is going to be enough as it is. Looks like this one is filling up. So if this one fills all the way up, then the other one should get a little bit extra. But we could also just put an upgrade. So I'll just make a diamond upgrade. Where is the diamond upgrade? Right there. One of those. Boop. Okay, so now all of these should just be full. All right, so we don't have to worry about it. We're only providing 1 bucket of water through this interface. All of the items that we're generating should be going into the interface, which is just being dumped onto our applied energistics system, which is not really what we want. We do want to set up some drawers for these things. So we need a pink tulip. We're gonna need a pickle. In order to get this sea pickle, oh, we got 17 of them now. In order to get that, I had to use these pickle seeds. We got these a while ago. I don't remember what we sifted for that. Looks like we did sand on string mesh. Or I guess sand on any of the different meshes would give us the pickles. So yep, that's how we ended up getting those. I was a little concerned that there was no way for us to make light green dye other than smelting cactus and then mixing with bone meal. But yeah, we do have that, so we can get lime, which is pretty cool. Cactus is another one that we have, so that's good. And the final one is lilac. Yep, so we are generating all 4 of these, so we need a drawer for all of those. In fact, I'm just gonna make a 2x2 drawer, I think. We don't need a crazy amount of those, but I just want them always in stock. So yeah, I could just add a 2x2 drawer here, maybe put a couple upgrades and a void upgrade in there, and then we can always have our stuff available and not going directly onto our digital storage. All right, so I went ahead and I made patterns here so we can make the different color concrete powders. And then I also made patterns where we are taking the powder and then turning it into the concrete. We're doing that magically, or yeah, we're gonna be doing that magically down here through this fluid encapsulator, which we were using previously to make white concrete for the majority of our base. So yeah, I just added in these different colors here, and then I just need to add in these patterns to our applied energistics system so it knows how to actually craft the different powders to turn into the solid colored ones, like so. Very good. So now we should be able to make anything. If I wanted, how about green concrete? Because I know we need that specifically for this recipe. Let's make 10 of them. We are missing slag. Did I make the recipe incorrect? Let's take a look. So the recipe to make this is this from the powder. You know what? I used the top recipe instead of the bottom one. Let me fix that. All right, so that's weird. On the different powders here, two of them, the slag is on top. These are the ones I did last, and 2 of them, the pink, are the gravel's on top and the slag's on the bottom. I don't know why there's that difference, but
Yeah, both the green ones had the slag on top and the regular green one, and the pink and the magenta have it on the bottom. Anyway, I just chose the top one. That's why we had that error. Anyway, getting back to this concrete, we wanted to make green concrete next, and we do that, and boom. Yes, so we can make all of these different concretes very, very easily. So getting back to this recipe here, the Patrick Star, it doesn't have an itemized list of how many of these things we need. So I guess I have to count the amount of these different ones. And we are mixing and matching. So we're using green concrete powder and green concrete in here. Yep. So I know there's a way. I don't know if we're gonna do this. I know there is a way on these things that you can filter them specifically to only accept a certain item. I think you have to do something like on the back, or I can't remember. I've done this before where like you make it so this one will only ever accept green concrete, for instance, right? That way you can just pipe items into it and they all go to whichever spot they go to, so you don't have to manually do that. I guess we're gonna end up doing something along those lines to auto craft this, because the Patrick Star is used, I believe, for a couple of things, right? So we needed to craft one of these ATM stars, and then we could also use it to make ATM stars this way if we had the star shards. Is that the only thing it's used for? Maybe it is. Well, if we have to make more than one ATM star, which I assume we will want to do, yeah, we need to auto craft that. So that's going to be the next task. I need to go through the create system here and remember how we filter each specific one of these mechanical crafters to only accept one specific item. Okay, I remember how this works now. Yeah, I looked at the ponder for this and it doesn't see it here, but then I just grabbed the wrench. It's like, all right, I'll do it myself. Yeah, so what you can do on the back of these things, you can right click the little divide between these. Say like you wanted green concrete powder to go to all three of these, then you know all you gotta do is just pipe green concrete powder to this block right here, and I'll fill all three of those. So yeah, this is nice, but only if we have components touching each other. The specific ones that we want, is that going to be useful? So let's go back to the Patrick Star real quick. So like these three, we could pipe pink concrete into one of these three blocks and into one of those three blocks, but like these two up here, yeah, that's not going to work. And then there's also pink concrete down here in a couple of places. So yeah, unfortunately, I'm not sure this is gonna be that useful. It almost feels like I need to do an export bus on every single one of these. I mean, I guess not every single one. We could probably save a few on the ones that do connect. But yeah, we're gonna have to be using quite a few export buses here. So that's probably what I'm gonna end up doing, is trying to go through this recipe and getting Applied Energistics hooked up to this so we can just auto craft the items that we need and have it refill. All right, guys, so I thought I'd bring you in on the process before I finish everything off camera, so you can kind of see we got a lot of this filled out right now. In fact, we got a little extra bit right here, and I did this to save on some of our channels. So what I did is I added another mechanical crafter here that we are not using, and then I put a mechanical crafter cover on there so it can't accept items. But what that does is allows me to link these two with these two and these four up here, right? So we only have to use one export bus and then we can get all of those. Yeah, so that's kind of nice. Take a look at the back here and what's going on. So we have those all connected together, and then that comes up here to like a little T. Yeah, so all of these are all connected together, which is great. And then we just have one export bus right here. Let me not select something. So yeah, we have a crafting card in here. We're exporting green concrete crafting card with an acceleration. In fact, this one probably could use more than one acceleration since we're filling up so many different slots with one export bus. But as you can see, it's kind of a mess back here with all the different Applied Energistics cabling that we need. We're not quite done yet, and we are currently using 28 of 32 channels. These two right here that I'm working on right now, these are going to be pink concrete. So what I'm doing is I'm just search for at Minecraft concrete, so we just see that. Otherwise, you see a whole bunch of other garbage. Yeah, I just want the concrete only. So yeah, we're going to do the solid pink concrete. We're going to add in a crafting card, and since it's only one, we don't have to worry about an acceleration. Same thing with this one. I've already filled that in. We just need a crafting card there. And then this final one here, this one was going to be magenta. That's solid concrete, not the powder. So magenta crafting card. So now we just need to connect this all up to AE. It looks like this connection right here, we only have 3 touching, so that's nice. We can just go ahead and boop a cable here, boop a cable there, and then this one just goes straight to the dense cable, and then those should all just fill in. Once that's done, we can turn on the mechanical crafter, and we should be able to make our very first star, and then we can see this thing all fill back in and make sure I have done everything correctly here, which I assume I have. But if we turn this on, oh yeah, okay, looks like it knows the recipe. Looks like everything is going together correctly. Kind of wish this part would go a little bit faster, but there it is. We made ourselves a Patrick star, and everything should refill. And as long as this thing's running, it should just craft the next one. You have a channel, you're online. Oh, I don't have a crafting card in there. How did that happen? Okay, well, this is what we test. There it is, and then it just starts crafting the next one for us. Very cool. So I kind of want to see this happen without any more intervention. I just want to see it do the thing all by itself. There's a second Patrick. Sweet, everything's filling in quite nicely. I like it. What about these center green ones? Do they all clump together at one time? Kind of. I think this one went in first and then all the other ones went. Okay, well, this is great. So this is all happening automatically, all from Applied Energistics. I don't have to touch anything. We're just auto crafting these. And I could also put a chest right here, I do believe. So I don't have to keep like getting these in my inventory, or we could put like an interface so it just goes directly into Applied Energistics. So we have 3 of them. When this is done, we should have 4 in there. I just want to verify that it is going in there, and then I might just put like a provider. Is that? Yeah, I think that's what we put in there to accept items, not the interfaces anymore. Yep, and then we got 4. Sweet. So yeah, this is just going to keep going forever. While that's doing its thing over here, we should take a look how we're doing over on our flowers. I did add this in. So yeah, we're very good. We got 500 plus in every single one of these. And I did put in 2 copper storages. So these hold 32.8 thousand per slot. And then we have a void upgrade in case we ever go over, which if we leave this on long enough, we definitely will. So yeah, we don't have to worry about that. So that's super awesome. Okay, very good. We got our mechanical crafting set up. It is all automatic. It is using a whole lot of channels, and we are using a lot of dense cable to bring those channels over. So what I might end up doing, instead of having our wall outlet like we've had on our other different rooms here, I might just bring in our black ME glass cable. This is what we're sending our P2P channels on. We might just bring that over and then just have like a P2P right here and then send the channels down that way. If we do it that way, then we should be able to have a second one of these, which we would need, right, in order to make this thing. Yeah. Do we need to set this up to be auto crafting? Because I don't think we're going to be auto crafting all this other stuff. Maybe we won't really worry about that and we'll just do this as a manual thing. I don't know. We'll have to see how it all goes. But either way, that's pretty cool. I'm very happy with how this has turned out. That is going to do it for this episode, guys. Yeah, we set up the mechanical crafter last episode. We got it going this episode, all automatic, and we're creating our Patrick stars. Super cool. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.